Hey guys, it's been a while. Welcome back. My name is Norman from Cortex R&D, and today is KTL tutorial number 7. We have a lot of new stuff happening recently in the KTL. We have new documentation where instead of having that huge first page, now we have streamlined this just for an introduction, and then we will redirect you to the wiki. The wiki is better organized with these sections and the keywords at the bottom, with everything sorted in alphabetical order. Okay. So what's new? Okay, now until today, until recently, I would say like last week, you can only have one keyword of a given type per view or per field. Now this is something of the past. We can now have multiple instances. That means you can have like keywords again and again repeatedly. So this is new. We can also have parameter groups. This has been there for a while. If you have more than one group, you can separate them with square brackets, comma, and another sequence of parameters, and you can keep going on like this, no limit. We have 4 new keyword options. This is a new concept where you can affect the behavior of a keyword with those 4 special words, starting with lowercase KTL like this. For example, ktlRoles allows you to define which role the keyword will be applied. You can force inclusion or force exclusion. The ktlTarget, reference value, and summary will discuss this with the new keyword called CFV right here. This is Colorize field by value. This is the new display rules on steroids. So you can do really interesting stuff with this. Back to documentation. What else is new? We have the universal selectors. This is a simplified method that allows you to use the view ID or the field ID, or use their label instead, or a combination of anything. Even jQuery selectors can be used to select something upon which the action will take place. Okay, so it's very flexible and makes your life easier. Okay, so let's jump into the CFV. And by the way, you'll see in the documentation I've added these little 2 lines for every keyword where it can be used. So used in views and fields in this case, because some of them apply only to one or both, and which are the supported options. Okay, so this new CFV feature, the keyword supports everything. This is the mother of all the options because it's been designed around the CFV keyword. So this one supports everything. Multiple instances, parameter groups, roles, target, reference value, and summary. We'll explain that later. So this feature allows you to put life into your grids, list, and details view. So colors all over the place and not necessarily limited to some fields as we have in the current display rules. Okay, this can be used with grids, list, and details view, and it compares the content of a cell to a reference value and apply the following. Okay, it can change the color of the text, color of the background of the cell, set the style, font weight, underline, italics. You can affect the whole cell or only the text within. You can propagate the style across the whole row. You can flash, 2 modes, on, off, or fade in, fade out, with an adjustable rate. You can even hide and remove cell content. Formats are supported for named values or hexadecimal, with all these variations, and including transparency. You must specify which column header or the label or the field ID to which the colorization will be applied. By default, it's in the current view, but you can override this, as we'll see later. The operators that are supported are all these. So you can compare textual values or numerical values. The reference value, this is an important part, is the value against which you want to compare the cell value. Okay, so this can be directly input in the keyword, but it can also reference an external value with this option. So let's go see an example. This is in the view. We have a basic view here. We have 3 CFV keywords in that view, so you can have multiple instances. So this one will compare the column price, this one, each value in there. If it's less than or equal 100, it will colorize the text black on a dark orange cell background and make the text bold. Okay, so this gives you this, the price. Note that a blank cell is considered as 0, and you have an option to omit the blank, like don't consider blanks. Okay. The next one says that if item description has ER in the text, colorize blue text over yellow background with a bold 700 value, font weight. So this is the item description, this one here, the second column. If we go back, we see that it contains ER, blue on yellow. So this is blue on yellow, contains ER. Next is if the regular price is greater than 50, use this color in hex on dark magenta background and extra bold, 800. So this is what you see here. And this color, by the way, the color FBB F30, you can see it if you do a right click, inspect, and it's right here. Okay, and you can change that by clicking a little square. You can change another color example and like choose let's say this. You can Control C, copy this value and replace it in your keyword, and it will affect the whole column. Okay. Now you see we have 3 keywords, but we have 5 columns, and they are all colorized. So what's happening here? The first one and the last one, it comes from the field, because as we said, this keyword can be supported in both the view and the field. So this is what we have here. The items table has a SKU number with the keyword CFV if SKU starts with C1GU, colorize blue, background AFA, bold and italics. This is what we have here. Okay. And the last one is stock quantity. This one right here. So you have all these keywords that say if the stock quantity is less than 60, pale green over black, 50 yellow, 40 orange, 30 red, and less than 15 red but flash. There's an F at the end that causes this flashing. Now when you have a keyword in the field instead of the view, it means that it will be supported across the board in all views in your application. This is why we still have it down here. So I don't need a keyword for this view because it's in the field already. And this is how you can combine both the view and field keywords. And very important to note that the field is executed after the view, so that it has precedence, okay? Because it will overwrite whatever the view has colorized. Also, the keywords are executed from left to right or top to bottom in this order. If you change the order, it will affect. This is how we get this nice rainbow effect gradient from green, orange, yellow, orange, and red by stacking them in this order. So it gives like this. Okay. Also note that these 5 lines are exactly the same as, I'm going to paste this in this notepad. So these 5 lines, they are exactly the same thing as these groups. So this is group number 1, comma, group number 2, so it gives the same result. Okay. Also, just a little trick, if you want to disable a keyword, you can put 2 underscores like this. It will not take effect. So this is useful if you want to compare 2 and see what's the best one. So you can comment 1 and leave the other one. So if I remove the double underscore, it will enable this secondary keyword here. So let's say I delete all those and I keep only the last one. It will do the same thing. Okay. The second view here, we have a list, and for this one you can see that we have this keyword item list has ER, blue on gold background, bold, italics, and fade flash. FF means fade flash. This is the smooth transition here, whereas this one is on off. Okay. Okay, so this is for the basic features, and now let's go with multiple groups. I've explained this already in this, another page. Just the same principle where we have square brackets to separate the groups, and it will execute them from left to right. So we have this. Next one. Now we can use an external reference. Instead of comparing with hard-coded values, we can say, okay, let's compare with the reference value here. How we do this? It's done this way. Compare the total sales, this column, if it's greater than a reference value, and colorize yellow on dark green background. The reference value is specified here in the second group. It's going to be, this is a special sub keyword, I would say, or a sub option. It says go fetch the value from the summary below at the intersection of AVG and total sales. So 4040 will become our comparison reference and we'll colorize if it's greater than. So this is what we have here. Okay. Also, you can say this one, the same principle, is going to get the reference value, but it's going to compare those 2 columns. So price, if it's less than the reference value, blue on light blue, but the other one, regular price, if it's greater than the reference value, light blue on blue. And the reference value is the summary AVG total sales, but from view 219. So it's the other one above. So this is comparing the values here against the 4040 up here. If it's lower than, or if it's greater than or equal. And by the way, I said here 2019, but I could have written stores. Would have done the same thing. This is the universal selector. You use whatever you want. Another example with okay, yeah, this one. This grid uses the the average sales here from the store details view at the top. So again, this grid is using the information from another field in another view also. This also you have the header alignment keyword. You see this is centered. We can say center, but now it's going to follow. Centered, right aligned, left. This also applies to pivot reports. About ktlRoles. This is very interesting because it will say it means that this keyword will be only applied if the logged in user has presentation or sales roles, one or the other. If you want, let's say you want to exclude a role, you put an exclamation mark before. So it would say like ktlRoles exclamation mark presentation, comma, exclamation mark sales. So it would mean it must not have those two roles. Let's see another scenario where we have this details view, and I say if the store has CO in its name, pale green on blue background, bold, but only if the role of the logged in user contains visitor, which is my case, so this works. And also if franchise equals yes, then colors we don't care, but hide. This is an option H for hide. Hide what? The target is test. So there's an action that shows the details view. It's called test. It will hide it if the franchise is yes. So that's the case. Franchise is yes, and this field is hidden. Okay, now I've enabled the view, so we can see that this is view 231, 232, and I want to explain that this ktlTarget can apply to anything, not only our own view. So if we say here view to which one was it again? 231, yeah, 231. This will work. It will hide the view above instead. So refresh like this, and it will also work the same if we use add item like this. Refresh. There you go. Universal selector. So that's it for the Colorize field by value new feature and all the 4 KTL options. I don't think there's anything missing. I invite you to read the fantastic manual for all the details. If you have questions, send them in the issues. I will answer them. If you have new feature requests, this is the place. Oh, and by the way, I strongly recommend that you subscribe to this changelog. Okay, this page is very important. This is my method to broadcast information to the users. Any changes, any new stuff. So subscribe to this, and also the code examples. If you have problems with achieving your goal with the KTL, any keyword, well, just send any request and we'll post the code that does what you want. That's it for today. My name is Norman, and thanks for watching.